everyone. Great to have you for today's Tech Tuesday session on Customer 360 SaaS, Cloud Native MDM for Cloud First CX. I'm Rinda, your host for today's session. The presenter for today's session will be Jyoti Venkatesan, who is an Informatica veteran with over 20 years of hands-on experience with various Informatica products across different industries. She's currently working as Principal Customer Success Technologist, focusing on customers to have a successful MDM journey. She's also the co-chairperson of the Houston Informatica User Group. Before we start this webinar, let's go through some housekeeping tips. The session is for 1 hour. That includes a 15 minutes Q&A. You can post your queries in the Q&A box. Dial-in participants are muted for the entire session. The session is being recorded and will be available in the Informatica Support YouTube channel and the Success portal. You'll also be able to download the slide deck from Success portal. Please feel free to put in your feedbacks and suggestions for the session in the post-webinar survey. The Tech Tuesdays webinars are hosted within the Success portal, which is a micro-learning platform that offers free and unlimited learning to all registered users. This feature-rich platform was launched to help you learn and use Informatica products better. Here are a few important links that you can go over later that will help you in your product adoption journey with Informatica. Over to you, Jyoti. Thank you.
Thanks for the introduction. Hello, everyone. This webinar will provide an overview of Customer 360 SaaS product, enterprise scale, cloud native Customer 360 that redefines modern MDM. We will begin with an overview, followed by a demo of some of the product features, and end with Q&A. We are redefining modern cloud-native MDM by making it easy to deploy, where we have simplified the configuration of MDM and applied intelligence to the data so you can get up and running in days versus months. With C360 SaaS, you can provision a customer data management system without the worry of hardware and software procurement and management. We are also making it easy to use with user-friendly UIs that offer simplicity to business analysts and data stewards with self-service mastering, guided workflows, search, and navigation of relationships. You can also extend and expand your customer data solution as your business needs demand. C360 SaaS is designed on a flexible and modular microservices architecture that supports elastic scalability and exponential data growth to quickly adapt to changing business needs. C360 SaaS comes with all-in-one best-of-breed data management capabilities, including data quality, business process orchestration, and reference data management. With this, you gain solid returns on investment through lower cost of ownership and quicker time to value compared to other solutions available in the market. We are also protecting your investment by focusing on continuous innovation with monthly releases, versioned metadata for safe upgrades, and rigorous automated testing to protect your investment. C360 SaaS provides out-of-the-box customer model, easy to extend in a redesigned modeling canvas. Reference 360 code lists and crosswalks for lookups to reference data from the Customer 360 business entities, and smart fields, which are context-aware data types. In addition to onboarding data anytime with built-in integration using Informatica's enterprise iPaaS capabilities. A purpose-built MDM connector for iPaaS allows users to map to a canonical staging model that hides the complexity of the underlying data model. With C360 SaaS, you can verify, standardize, and enrich data with built-in data quality. Data quality rules are associated directly with fields in the MDM data model, and MDM takes care of executing them consistently regardless of whether data comes in batch, real-time, or streaming modes. Survivorship scores can be downgraded based on the results of DQ validation rules. If you are licensed for any of Informatica's DaaS services address, phone, or email verification. You can enable DAS validation with a single checkbox, and Informatica MDM takes care of mapping input and output fields to the DAS service automatically. We also provide capability to match in any language for any entity type, with supervised machine learning to infer rules, together with the ability to integrate Informatica's name tree. Deep learning to match textual dirty data ensures you have the capabilities you require to match any entity you require in any language. Along with matching, Informatica's patented trust framework is used to determine the golden record when records merge and when updates come in from source systems. You can define survivorship rules at business entity or field group or at a field level for the most granular control of survivorship, and downgrade trust scores for fields or groups of fields that fail DQ validation rules. For search and explore capabilities, we use Elasticsearch for fast full text searching with configurable search results layouts, along with the capability to save searches and save filtered searches as templates. To explore the relationships between business entities, you can browse and manage hierarchies and explore and manage graph relationships. To ensure you can build the proper controls to govern, steward, and collaborate, we created a business events modeling framework. The business events framework has a BIPL plugin for Informatica cloud application integration to enable the business events to trigger or be triggered from CAI process flows, including CAI human tasks. And the data stewardship capability also includes ML-assisted file import to empower non-technical users to upload the data into MDM without going through IT. We are able to support orchestrating and publishing of data anytime, as all data flows are orchestrated by Informatica Cloud Application Integration. This orchestration is configurable, as different 360 solutions can have different data flows, and different customer implementations can also have different data flows. And you're able to extract data in batch using data integration capabilities and the Business 360 connector we built. And regarding security, we have integrated with our IACS to manage roles, groups, and users, and are providing role-based access control support for all our assets. And IACS uses industry-approved and commonly used algorithms to encrypt all sensitive information. Now, let me walk you through a demo of the product. So I'm logging into the IACS. And now you will notice that once I log in, I will see the chiclets that are available to me. So here for the Customer 360 SaaS, we are going to be mainly focusing on the Customer 360 chiclet and the Business 360 console. And if you click on the eye here, hover over it, you will see what the chiclets are used for. So in this one, Business 360 console chiclet is where you will actually configure, and Customer 360 chiclet is where you will actually work with the data. So now let me click on this. And when it takes you in, you will land at the home page, and the home page is where you will actually have couple of bite-sized videos that users actually find very helpful, where it will these videos are like 2 minutes, 3 minutes videos, where it will actually take you through the basic configurations. So I hope you make use of it if you work through the product. And now we will walk through how to configure the business events and workflows. Like, for example, the scenario could be your business user is actually trying to add person records and update or delete person records. In such cases, you would want his or her manager to approve the changes. So that is the scenario that we are going to walk through to begin with. So here you will see that there is an explore button here. So if you click on the explore, you will see that these are all the projects that are associated. And if I click on customer 360, you will see all the assets that are associated that are available for us to work with, and any assets that we created are available to us. And if there are, if it runs 2 pages, you can always find it by typing it here. And also you could sort it, and you could also use the filter here. So let me click on the filter, and you will notice that this add field pops up, and you could search based on any of these. Now let me go ahead and go based on type. And the moment I said type, these are all the different types of assets that can be available to you. So now let's go ahead and work, look into the business entities that are available. So if I go ahead and check on business entity, I will notice that organization and person are the 2 business entities, and these most of these assets are given to you, and the organization, person, business entities are available to you when you have the product. And let's go ahead and click on the person business entity. And when I click on it, you will notice that this is the modeling of the business entity that has been it's already configured for you. You do not have to customize it unless you choose to for some of your business needs. Absolutely, you can go ahead and add fields, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But I wanted to draw your attention towards consumption of the business entity. That's when we will go through the events. So if you click on the events here, you will see that these are all the events that are associated with the person business entity. And so here you have all these events, but there is also another business event that is available to you here, where it will show the business events associated with both person and organization business entity. So this one will be specific just to the person business entity. So let's go ahead and click on the business event here. You will notice that these are all the events with person, and there is one event that is also being associated with the organization business entity. Let's go ahead and click on add event. When I click on it, there are 2 kinds of events, which could be user triggered event or the system generated event. Let's go ahead and click on the user triggered event. So let's go ahead and give it a display name. So I'm creating this is for the TD demo and the person changes. And okay, I gave it a 2 because I already saw there was 1. So here's where we give the display name, and then the affected user roles. We will talk through the user roles and where they're configured. I'll show them to you as well. Let's go ahead and click the customer 360 analyst role. So this is the role for which I am going to be walking you through how the change triggers the event. And the event scenarios. Event scenario is where you're actually going to tell the event when to trigger. So I clicked on the add button here, and in the asset name, we can go ahead and pick. We'll work with it. It can be triggered for hierarchies like you see, or it could be triggered for a business entity. Let's go ahead and click on the person. So I'm going to select that. And also the actions when we want the event to trigger. So let's go ahead and trigger the event for create, update, delete, and merge. So these are all the actions that will trigger the event, and I am fine with these. And let's go ahead and put it as the one-step approval. And the final approvers could be the data steward and the manager. So TT demo person changes to is our event that we are creating right now. Right, and we could keep the priority as high, normal, or low. You can keep it as high and then put it as 1 day, during a day. So let's go ahead and save this. So the event is created successfully. And you will see that these are all the business events that are already available. And we went ahead and created this TT demo person changes to, which is the event that we created right now. And also notice that I am logged in as user J Venkatesan _ demo. And what I'm going to show you real quick is if we logged into the administrator, this is where we actually configure the users and their roles. And you will notice that the J Venkatesan, if I click on users here, you will notice that the J Venkatesan _ demo has all the roles and the privileges that are available. So we are going to be logging in as an analyst to make the changes to the record. So J Venkatesan _ demo user is able to approve the changes. So that's the scenario we're going to walk through. So now the user that I'm going to be logging in would be the analyst _ user, and you will see that this user has just this one permission where he or she is going to be the analyst. So let's log out of here. I'm going to say okay to that. Now we are going to log in as the analyst. You will notice that analyst role does not have access to the Business 360 console checklist, and rightly so, because we do not expect the analyst to be making changes to the configuration. So if you believe the analyst at your organization should be doing that, you can go ahead and assign them the role that is associated to log into the Business 360 console. Now, as an analyst, I am logging into Customer 360. So you will notice that at the home screen, the analyst has all these charts that are available at the dashboard. So where he or she is able to see the customer addresses by address count by state, customer by employment type, customer by household size, and these charts are available out of the box when you have the Customer 360 SaaS product. And now we, as an analyst, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating a person record. So that's what I want to do. And before I even go ahead and create the record, let me check if the record that I'm planning to create already exists. So let me go ahead and search on that. I searched as an organization that's not available. So let me look as a person if so the TT demo under Joe, this particular user is already this particular person is already present. So now let me go ahead and add a new person, create. So let me go ahead and create a record for myself. So I've created, enter the first name, last name, and I notice that the full name automatically pops up because of a data quality rule that's present for the person business entity, which I'll be talking about eventually in the demo. But yeah, for now, I see that this record, I'm just going to leave it as is, and I'm going to submit this record. So the record that I've created is Jyoti Ven. And here it says a task was created successfully. And if I go to the workflow inbox, obviously I'm not going to get it for approval. My manager is going to be getting the record for approval. And if I go ahead and search, yeah, Jyoti underscore when was the record that I created, and I do not see that record here. Now let me go ahead and log out. I'm going to say I'm okay with that. Now I'm going to be logging back in as my user jvenkatesan_demo. And in here, I'm going to go back into the Business 360 console. You have the Business 360 console here, and you have the Customer 360 here. And let's go ahead and log into the C360. And if I click on the workflow inbox, so this is the one, the creator was analyst_demo, and you have this particular task that is waiting on me. So I go ahead and click on that. So the record Jyoti Ven is available here. I'm going to claim the task, and I'm going to say you have the option to approve, reject, send back, or release. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm fine with this addition. So I'm going to go ahead and approve it. Now it says the task action was performed successfully. Click on the workflow inbox, refresh it. You will see that the task is not present here anymore. And let's go ahead and click on search for, now it returns 0 because I searched in organization. And let's say I put multiple searches. Let's see how that works. Under organization, there is nothing, but under person, you will notice Jyoti_Ven. The record is created here, and you can always recall that earlier when I searched for the same record before it was approved by my manager, the record was not available, but now it is available because it has been approved. Now I can always go ahead and then open up the record, and depending on how you have set the layout of the page, this particular rendering will show up, and you can always configure the layout of the page the way you like at the Business 360 console checklist. And now we have seen how I approved for the creation of the record. And I also want to log out of here and make some changes to the same record so you are able to see how the changes to the record reflects. I'm going to say okay to this. I'm logging back in as analyst_demo. And I'm going back here into the customer 360. And I'm going to make some changes to the record, add a few more fields. That way you're able to see how the changes reflect. So this is the, now let's go into the person and let's look for the record. So Jyoti underscore when, this is the one that we created. So I'm opening that. And I'm going to update my last name and whatnot. So let's go ahead and pick my title and change the last name to my full last name. And yeah, you will notice that the full name got changed. So yeah, we can go ahead and add a few more fields. Now let me go ahead and say apply. Now the record has unsaved changes. To save the changes, click submit. I'm going to go ahead and click submit to this. A task was created successfully. So now you will notice that it shows up as pending. Now I'm going to log out of here. And I'm going to log back in as the approver of the change. Go into the customer 360. And you will notice that the task is available to me at the workflow inbox. Okay, and so this is the one TT demo person changes to. We click on that. Now you will see that the changes are color coded. I just wanted to show that to you, where the last name I changed it from Ven to Venkatesan to me, and then the full name got changed automatically, which is also reflected here. It got reflected automatically because of the data quality rule that is available that we have configured, and these fields I added just now, and I'm going to claim this task. And I'm going to approve these changes as well. All right, so the task was performed successfully. Okay, and now if I go back into the workflow, I refresh, you will not see the task waiting on me anymore. Right, so in this one, as the same user, so what we did just now, if we go back into the Business 360 console, so we actually configured a business event, and the event that I clicked on the business event. Now the event that we configured was a user triggered event, so the one TT demo person changes to, and we associated the business event to act upon a particular business entity for specific actions. And also we assigned approvers, and then we showed how the process works between different users based on the roles. That's what we saw here. And also notice that there are two different kinds of events, the user triggered event and also the system generated event. And when it comes to the system generated event, these are generated as the name says, it's a system generated event, and it happens during the merge task. So if I click on the one that's already there, you will notice that for example, let's go ahead and add here. Let's go ahead and pick the organization business entity. You will notice that the actions also change. The earlier for the user triggered event, you saw the action was create, update, delete, and unmerge. And for this one, you will have the action as resolving potential matters. So I hope this clarifies how you need to configure the business event for creating or updating or any of the operations that you may perform on the data. Now let's look into how to configure the hierarchies. I'm at the Business 360 console checklist. Click on the new button, and here you will see hierarchy under the model, where you can define a hierarchy of relationships between the business entities. Go ahead and say create. And call it as TT demo info hierarchy. This is a demo info, and we can pick the location. Let's keep it as customer 360. Say okay. Now you will notice that the root node is here, but it is undefined. So what we need to do is associate the root node to a business entity. So let's go ahead and associate it with organization. And when I hover over the organization, you will notice the plus button. Click on the plus symbol. Now it lets you associate the child with the business entity, and based on what the model allows. So I'm going to go ahead and click person. So the relationship now here is from organization to person. And when I hover over this, I also see that the recursive symbol is possible. So I'm going to go ahead and create a person to person as well. So now we have this hierarchy defined, which is the Informatica hierarchy template that we have defined here at the Business 360 console. So I'm going to go ahead and save this template. And it says the hierarchy was saved successfully. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to work with the hierarchy. So now that this hierarchy has been created, configured, now the business users could actually go into this customer 360 checklist and actually work with the data to form the hierarchy. And remember, this is organization to person, and we have called it the TT demo info org hierarchy. Now let's go ahead. And here, let's try to create the hierarchy. Here, click on the hierarchy. So this is the one that we created now, TT demo and for the hierarchy. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, say create. Okay. Go ahead and create, and you will notice that it automatically starts the draft because that's the way we have set it up in order for it to go through the approval. So we are now going to create the root record. Let's go ahead and search on Informatica. So I'm going to add this as my root. And once the root is here, you can go ahead and work with it by adding more records. Let's go ahead and find the record that we created, Jyoti Venkatesan. I will go ahead and add. So similarly, you can go ahead and keep expanding on the hierarchy as your organization needs it. So keep clicking on the buttons, and then you will have the hierarchy done, and you can always submit it and then it will go through the approval process the way we have defined the business event. I hope you recall that at the business event, for now I can go ahead and discard this hierarchy. I do not need it, but just to jog your memory, you might recall that in the Business 360 console, you notice that when there was a user-defined event, there's also the asset where you're able to pick the assets between business entities and hierarchies. So if you want any of the hierarchy changes to go through the approval process, that is what you will go through. So here in the business event, I'm just going to show you a sample of how it can be triggered through the. So I can just go ahead and create a new user triggered event. And here at the asset, right, you can always pick the hierarchy. You can always select this hierarchy, and then actions can be create, update, delete. So you can also set up a hierarchy to go through the workflow, and then that way there is some control and governance over any changes that may be done to the hierarchy. So that pretty much defines the hierarchy, but I can go ahead and cancel this out. Go ahead and discard this. And now that we have seen how the hierarchy configuration and the visualization works, let's go through what is called the business entity modeling, right? So it's important for you to know if you want to make any customization to the available model, how you do it, right? So all I did was I went into the explore button, I clicked on the customer 360 project, and here you have the organization business entity and person business entity. So let me go ahead and click on the person business entity. Like we already saw, you have all of these attributes that are already built out for you, and you have the basic fields that are here in turquoise color, and wherever you see the purple ones, they are more of the smart fields. Smart fields are more context aware. So if you click on the address, for example, you click on this arrow here, you will see a bunch of attributes that create and form the address field, address line 1, line 2, and then you even have the pick list for the state where it refers into the reference 360 and picks the reference data from there for the state according to the country. And if you want to go back to the previous palette, you just click on this arrow here, and it takes you here. And if for your business needs you need to add any basic fields or anything like that, you can always double click here, and then it forms the fields here. And you can always work with these fields, type in the display name and whatnot, and the description. And also notice that you could actually create a data quality rule associated with the field. Like say, for example, I am just creating, let's go ahead and pick on, let's say the title field, right? So you have the title here, and then you already have it, and you want to create a data quality rule, and title is already given to you with the product. But if you want to customize it, you can always go ahead and click on the data quality, and at the data quality, you will notice that you could create basic data quality rules or advanced data quality rules. Let's focus on the basic data quality rule for now. I click on the plus button, and it says the applied field is title, and let's call it as min length, right? So min length title for the row. And in here, I want to say, okay, if the minimum length must be at least 3, right? And if it is not 3 characters at the title, you want to say, give a warning and say min length must at least have 3 characters. Right? So you can actually have such data quality rules, and you can downgrade the trust score if it happens, if you like, and you can always test the data quality rule as you make changes to it. So let's say, for example, I put in Mr. and I say I run it, it says it is invalid, and then and now it took Mr. Dot because I accepted only 3 characters. So you could actually create such basic rules as your organization's need maybe. Now let me go ahead and close this one and discard the tool association. Yeah, I can go ahead and discard it. And also you will notice that there are advanced rules here. Like say, for example, you want to go back into here and so you have all of these purple fields. We already talked about the small fields, and then the field groups where a bunch of fields make up the smart field. And there is also another way to look at the data quality that goes on top of the entire business entity, for which you can click here. And you will see that there are 2 basic roles, 1 advanced role, and 2 DAS, right? And for the DAS services, you want to ensure you have your license keys available at the global settings, and we do provide phone and email with the Customer 360. And as for the advanced rules, so here you will see the DUNS validation alternate identifier. This goes through the advanced rule where if you click on this, it will take you through the rule specification and the validation associated with it. And if you click on the rule specification, it's going to connect you to the data quality, the mapping that's associated with it. And you should be able to see how it has been defined, and you are able to go through the inputs, the rule logic, what all has gone in, and then you should be able to test it out as well. So this is regarding the DQ rule. And also, let's say you have the business entity available and you want to load the data from your source system into your business entity. For that, what you need to do is, let's go into here. I click down the new button and then click on the jobs. And you will see ingress where define jobs to import data from data source into business 360. So I clicked on create. Let's say load from source to person, right? Load from source to person. So this is the display name I'm giving, and a location I can leave it as customer 360. Okay, and I am actually trying to load the data from the source to my person business entity, and the prerequisites that are needed here would be that you have secure agent and you also have the connection parameters defined. So let me go ahead and say okay. And here you will see that these are all needed to be able to get the data in, where I'm saying the process should be extract, validate, and load the data. And this can be associated with any of the available source systems. And if you need any other new source system, you can always go ahead and create a new source system. And I'll show you how to do that. So let me go ahead and pick this as the source system. And the task flows, you can actually pick the task flow that is available, and you will be creating these task flows. And that's why there's no data to display here, because the task flows will be created as part of your data integration. Like say, for example, let me go ahead and switch quickly to the data integration checklist. So in the data integration checklist, you would already have the mapping task, and the task flow associated with it. If I click on the Explorer, so these are all the, this is the mapping that is already available, source to MDM person mapping. And also you will see in here, in the project, now I pick the default project. Default project is where I already have the source to MDM person mapping, the task flow, and the mapping task associated with it. So I've already created this, but we can quickly walk through how to do this, and it's nothing different from a data integration job. So if you just open this, so in the source, I have associated this source to the person.csv file that I have. And of course, from the target perspective, I have this one mapped to my business entity, for which I already have the business 360 connector available. So that is where it is able to connect. And in this one, you are able to select whichever business entity is applicable. But in this one, I have picked the person business entity. So this is what I have picked. So it's already assigned to this. So from the source to target, you can click on the field mapping and then link the source to target. So for any new field mapping that you may need, you can always drag and drop. Like say, for example, let's say I want to drag and drop the full name. I want to map the full name to the full name. I go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is how you map from the source to the business entity to load the data into the person business entity. This is what we have done, but yeah, remember the prerequisites, and you have to have the secure agent running, and you also have to have the connection parameters corrections available to you. And here you can save and run, and then you can always create the mapping task associated with it. So that's what we have done here. So in the Explorer, if you go back to the Explorer button, so that is what you will see, the source to MDM person mapping. The associated mapping task is here. And also you will see the task flow, the source to MDM person. So this is the task flow you have. And now remember that all this was done at the data integration checklist, right? Now going back into the business 360 console. Now I'm going back into the default project because that is where the task flow was. That's what we saw in the data integration checklist. So now I'm going to pick this task flow. I'm going to select that. You will see that source to MDM person task flow has been picked, and the associated asset is also picked, which is the person, and it is in the folder customer 360, and it is of the type business entity, and you can always save this and run this. And for the purposes of this demo, I've already so there are a bunch of runs here. So it's going to be, if we want to go to our particular run, like we said, we're going to make use of the filter, and we're going to say the job type. And we can go ahead and pick, this is the ingress. So we are going to pick all the ingress jobs. And then see, this is the one ingress person S2. So this was already run. If I click on that, it is going to show me through all the steps that happened, where extract, transform, load, and then index, and then the match tokenization. So you'll see that all of them are performed. And here you will also see the metrics associated with the run and the time it took at each step. So basically in this process, we actually took the source record and we processed it and loaded from the source into our person business entity. So this is one way to get the data in. And also, you could look into the intelligent file import option, which can come in handy for the business users, and that is available at the customer 360 checklist. I can discard all my changes, that's fine. Now we are going to look into the intelligent file import option that's available. So here you have this file import. If you click on that, you can browse and pick a particular CSV file. Go ahead and pick this one. Okay. Here we can say that it contains headers. And you will always have a preview of it, so you can click on next. And here you will notice that these are the organization or the person business entity. It is able to suggest for you. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick the person. And wherever you see that it is a green bulb, it has high confidence in this mapping. So we are quite fine with the picks. So we're going to go ahead and take that. So this is the already mapped ones for us. This is why it's called the intelligent file import, where it is able to map it for us automatically. And then you go ahead and click on next. And then you're able to import the data. And you can also save this as a new mapping template. So we can call it persons import, and then save this as a template. That way it will be available to us the next time, and we don't have to remap if at all there is any remapping that's needed. And then you click on the import, and then it will show up in the My Jobs on how the import happened. So that's pretty much what I wanted to walk you through, and I really hope you found this demo helpful. And in our demo today, we covered configuring the business events and workflows. We went through the system triggered or the user triggered business events, and we went through how to configure hierarchies. And we also looked through the different kinds of data quality rules that are available, and how we are able to ingress the data into the business entity. And also we looked through how to do an intelligent file import. I hope that gives you all a good sense for how the product works, and you have a chance to play around with it. Thank you.
Hello everyone, please post your queries in the Q&A box. We'll try and answer them.
And we also have John Thomas from our product management team here with me, and Bala Rajagopal, who's a principal product manager, and they will also be joining questions you all may have.
Hey Jyoti, would you like to call out any questions that we have already answered?
Sure, of course, we can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we did have a bunch of questions from Vodafone. Great questions, by the way. And yeah, so we we had the questions from Vodafone that were answered by John. And John, yes, you could unmute yourself and speak through those questions, John, if you like to. And I know the questions from Vodafone were more on whether they had to configure anything or if the review was available out of the box. The best way to look at C360 SaaS is everything is available to the customer out of the box, and they do not really have to go ahead and develop code and make things complicated unless they choose to. So it's, of course, customization is up to the customer, but then yes, most of the reviews that I showed here today were all available to you out of the box. John, would you like to add anything to that?
Yes, please. Thanks. So our Customer 360 SaaS solution, along with any of our MDM SaaS solutions, are going to be tightly integrated with Informatica's data management, cloud data management platform, which includes the ability to integrate with cloud application integration. And this is really where we're creating the workflows associated to human tasks for reviews and approvals. So similar to what ActiveOps used to do in our on-premise world, this is now through our integration with cloud application integration. So you're able to create your own custom workflows, put your own logic in there, create multi-step approval processes or more complicated approval processes than that we ship out of the box, just like you used to be able to do with ActiveOps, and then integrate that, through the same mechanism that Jody showed you, just through a drop-down, select the appropriate workflow, based on that event trigger, and that's all there is in that configuration piece. So it should be a really straightforward process. There is still, the work that you have to do in actually creating that workflow, similar to what you did in ActiveOps, but even there, if you look at our cloud application integration, it is much more simpler and easy to configure and develop your own workflows there. There was also a similar question around Product 360 and when is that available. And so I do want to call out that a lot of what Jody showed you here, especially on the configuration aspects, is actually the configuration for any MDM solution. So whether it's Reference 360, Product 360, Supplier 360, all of those are going to be built on the same platform with the same capabilities. And as we build out specific capabilities for, let's say, Product 360, those capabilities will also be available for the most part to any other solution as well. So we're building one real configuration platform, which you can then release any solution, whether it's product or supplier in the future. Okay. I think we had a recent question now on how match merge is configured. Just going into a little bit of detail on match merge. So again, we have the declarative rules engine, which is similar to how using our name 3 matching engine for any declarative rules. But on top of that, we also have a what we call our cloud matcher, which is our AI ML-based matching engine, which actually takes your data SMEs, your data stewards or your subject matter experts, through a labeling exercise, which you can automatically come up with new rules on top of the name 3 declarative match rules that we ship out of the box. So where we see, making this really simple for you is that we provide, for person and org, we're providing some out of the base match models that you can use out of the box. And instead of bringing in someone with, deep name 3 capabilities and, having a real name 3 expert come in, use their out of the box rules, but enrich that with your data SMEs going through that labeling exercise to actually very easily configure another layer of matching on top of that, and with the hope that will actually meet your matching requirements. But all the same capabilities or similar capabilities that you've had in our on-prem will be available through here, but just much simpler to configure.
Thanks, John, for explaining that in detail. And thank you, Sharon, for giving a positive feedback. I see a no, thanks so much. And also, there is one other question from Sandra saying, we were sent a list of entities that were centered around party. There were no person or organization entities. Did we get the correct list? So Sandra, I think we need to know which product you were talking about. And if you could just respond to that follow-up question from us. Are you talking multi-domain MDM, or which product you're exactly talking about? Because C360 SaaS would have all these entities with you, and I'm not sure if you're a customer yet. I'll let you respond to that follow-up, Sandra. And the next question from Jane is CAI included in a Customer 360 SaaS license? So John, I would let you respond to that question as well, because I know it's part of it is included as long as there is an MDM connector, but I'll let you go into depth on that. Is CAI included in a Customer 360 SaaS license? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's right. As long as it's centered around our MDM workflow, you will have the required rights for cloud application integration. And this is also true for any of the other integrations. If it's cloud data integration, cloud data quality, application integration, as long as it's being used within our MDM solution as part of the workflow for reviewing or approving MDM, bringing data into MDM, taking data out of MDM, all of that license capability is included as part of the Customer 360 SaaS license.
Correct. And James, please do feel free to email me, and we could schedule another follow-up with you if you have more questions, and we could talk you through the product, because I do see a lot of interest from you on the product. So it would be great if you're able to catch up offline so we could answer any other questions you may have. And I thank Sandra for responding to the follow-up and confirming the product you're talking about is Customer 360. Yes, Customer 360 is the out-of-the-box model, and that is not the Customer 360 SaaS product, is our understanding based on your response. So yes, you won't be seeing the similar person or organization entities, but you will see the entire party model. That's what goes with the Customer 360. And then I see another follow-up from you, Sandra, saying we are a brand new customer and perhaps this was sent with regard to MDM. Correct. So no, that's good. Thanks for clarifying that, Sandra. Yeah, your questions are more pertaining to the Customer 360 product, which is another product, and absolutely I would be happy to get in touch with you. Please do reach out to me through your account manager, and then we can schedule a demo for you separately. And yes, most of the things you should be able to achieve through the Customer 360 as well, but of course this is a SaaS product and it is cloud-based, so that's going to be a very different product. So we don't want to confuse this webinar with the Customer 360 regular product as of now. But yeah, definitely I'll schedule a follow-up with you if you are able to email me. And the other question I see is C360 Arabic language in profiling. For the Arabic language specific, hey, John, do you want to answer that, or we want to get back to them on that?
Yeah, just based on time, it might be easier to reach out to me or you directly, and then we can talk about that. From a profiling point of view, because that's also cloud data quality, not specific to MDM, but we are able to handle multi-byte characters, and we can use our name tree for matching and stuff like that as well with Arabic populations. So yeah, maybe we can dig into exactly what the question is.
Absolutely. I know we have 3 minutes over already, but yeah, Jane, absolutely, you're welcome. And yeah, thanks for all the positive messages and feedback, team. We really appreciate it. And there is one more question from Atit. Would you be having C360 data model and solution for specific industry like manufacturing, healthcare? It would be best for John to answer that with regard to the product direction.
Yeah, just really quickly, absolutely. We are already working with some of our business partners on solution-specific accelerators, which will include data models and so forth. I think one of the very exciting things that we want to do is actually provide a method for our business partners to start creating assets and accelerators and make it available through a marketplace type exchange on the application itself. This is still something that's further out, but we absolutely do. We will look at our business partners to help us build out industry-specific accelerators.
Yep. I know we are 4 minutes over. Thank you all so much for joining this webinar. But please do email me. You have my email information in the PDF that's available to you. Please do email me and connect. Let's connect through your account manager, and then we will talk through any further questions you may have. I know we're running short of time, and we covered a lot of information in this webinar. And please do post your feedback when the webinar ends. That would go in a long way for us. So a few minutes from you would really be helpful. And please do reach out to me through my email if you have any further questions, and we'll be happy to arrange for demo and then talk through at a meeting and answer any other questions you may have. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Jyoti. Looks like we have answered most of the questions. As Jyoti have already mentioned, we have a survey that goes out just after the session. Just please feel free to put in your feedbacks and suggestions. We'd like to know what topics you would prefer in the future Tech Tuesdays topics. Thanks everyone for joining. See you on our next Tech Tuesdays. Bye.
Thank you all.